What have you done for the year 2024 is a question you should ask yourself, because I believe when you find how there's a saying that a problem shared is half solved. I believe when you figure out that there's a problem, you've half solved the problem basically. And so you need to find strategies and ways to mitigate the problems that you have. If it's overspending or if it's undersaving, there's only two ways. You're either overspending or you're undersaving. Saving 10 grand in a year is a task pretty much any full-time employee could do, but it depends on how much you earn in total for the year. Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kenne's Talk Show. You already know what time it is. Make sure to smack out that button, the bell, subscribe button. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's your second time, you already know. Make sure to share with your friends, family members, including every single person in your household. Now, in today's video, we'll be talking about accountability. Accountability for the past 6 months. Now, the year is halfway gone, and now, have you been accountable for the things that you set, the goals that you set for the year 2024? In today's video, we'll delve into it and figure out if you have been or have not been, and if you can still meet your goals for the year 2024. I'll also be talking about saving strategies for the year 2024, which, if you haven't watched my previous, in one of the videos that I posted, it could be 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, a month ago, it's talking about budgeting and basic skills that you could use in order to budget properly and like really well. Now, what have you done for the year 2024 is a question you should ask yourself, because I believe when you find how there's a saying that a problem shared is half solved. I believe when you figure out that there's a problem, you've half solved the problem basically. And so you need to find strategies and ways to mitigate the problems that you have. If it's overspending or if it's undersaving, there's only two ways. You're either overspending or you're undersaving. Saving 10 grand in a year is a task pretty much any full-time employee could do, but it depends on how much you earn in total for the year. Now, if you're looking to save 10 grand for the year, starting from January all the way to December, you would have to be saving $833 each month in order to meet that goal of 10 grand a year. Now, we're already halfway down the road, okay? And saving that 10 grand has already been split into half. So can you, or are you able to save $5,000 from now all the way down to December of 2024? Can you save 5 grand? Well, if you've been saving up until now and you have up to 5 grand at minimum, that's fantastic. If you can keep that up to the year ends, up until when the year ends, you should be Gucci. If you haven't and you want to start, it's never too late. You can always start at any time, but make sure that you are meeting your goals. If you're trying to save 10K for the next 6 months, that would be $1,666 monthly. Now, if you split that into weekly, you have to divide that by 4. And dividing that by 4 would put you around something around $415 on a weekly basis in order for you to meet, or 417 on a weekly basis in order for you to meet that criteria of saving 10 grand for the next 6 months. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you can do it. The thing that people lack is believing in themselves. And when you believe in yourself, you can actually get the process of saving that 10 grand within the next 6 months. It could be from maybe picking up some job for the next 2 months, or cutting on an expense that could, help you, help you save that money for the year before the year runs out. Now, believe me, when you see money sitting in your account, it makes you feel good. But at the same time, that money sitting in there, if it's not emergency money, you might as well invest it, right? Now, I'll go into that detail in another video. If you are looking to save that and make it really easy for yourself, you could split it into daily savings, okay? I say this because it's a bit difficult and tricky for one to save up for the month and just cut that pay from your paycheck and drop it off into your savings account all at once. But if you do it in little chunks every week or every other week, it becomes really easy for you to gather up that amount and just toss it in your savings account. And I would advocate for a savings account that you don't have an easy access into. A savings account that would take you probably 2 or 3 business days in order for the funds to be released. It's your money, but make it difficult for you to be able to access that money, because accessing the money easily can make you overspend or feel like, okay, well, you got the dough, why don't you spend it, right? So I'll advocate for that. So if you break it down into daily expenses, like into daily savings, okay, if you had to do 5K in the next 6 months, if you split it monthly, you'll be saving up $833 monthly. Now, if you split that 833 monthly into daily, you're saving up $27.70 on a daily basis. Okay, it sounds a little bit ludicrous that you're saving up $27.70 daily. Now, some people would want to accumulate that and just put it, but there's a pain that comes with gathering and just paying all at once because you feel like it's a lot of money going out. But $27, that feels like a sandwich nowadays, right? If you go to Firehouse or you go to Subway, it's $20. So it kind of feels that way. At the same time, if you're putting that aside, it makes it really easy for you to, save up. Now, talking about the budgeting, okay, I have had one video that I talked about budgeting, and I will just brief on it tonight. When you're budgeting, okay, make sure that your expenses does not, say your house rent, like the essential expenses does not exceed 40 or 50% of your household income. Okay, so if it's exceeding your household income, then there's a problem. You need to figure out, either you cut back on your car loan or you cut back on your house rent. One of those, you need to break that down, because like cut it down, because it's very important for you to save so that you are, you don't feel like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. So that's the very first thing I would say, like cut down your expenses that are essential. Bring it down to at least 30% or 40% or maximum 50% of your household income. That way you have 50% to go around, like maybe invest or, do things that can better your family's, future and stuff. I mean, it makes sense if you're going above and beyond to like, say you're trying to further your education and you're paying an extra because it's essential. Furthering your education is essential, in my opinion, in my books. If you're furthering your education to increase your salary, it makes sense. It makes absolute sense for you to do that. So in today's video, I'll just recap what I said. Saving 10 grand is fairly simple. It's just, you need to want to do it. You need to be able to feel like, okay, I can do it, and believe in yourself that you can save that money, that amount of money. You can cut back on going out with friends. You can cut back on going out with, doing trips and international, national, whatever, whichever ones. You could reduce some expenses that are not necessary in order for you to save up more, especially now there's inflation and we don't know where things are gonna go. Like, you don't know if we're going up or down, left or right, right? So I would advocate for you to save as much as you can. If you don't have an emergencies fund, you should try to get an emergencies fund, because you don't know what tomorrow holds. Maintain a certain status of living. Don't increase your standard of living. If you have an increase in your paycheck, do not increase your standard of living. Maintain the same standard of living. Whatever was increased on your pay, you could then add that into your savings. So if you had $1,000 increase in your pay, just assume that you're still living within the means, the budget that you had from before. So ladies and gentlemen, if you find this video very helpful and insightful, please make sure to smack up the bell and subscribe button, share with all your friends, family members, including your enemies. They might want to benefit from this too. Without further ado, your boy Kenny is out.